Please be seated. As president, I'm pleased to welcome you on behalf of the faculty, staff, and governing boards of Weber State University to the university's 141st commencement. The prelude and processional music were performed by Weber State University Wind Ensemble, conducted by Dr. Thomas Root. Seated on the platform are members of the Board of Trustees, James Beardall, Karen Fairbanks, Andrew Gardner, Alan Hall, Mary Hall, Catherine Lindquist, Scott Parson, Jeff Stevens, Steve Starks, and Kevin Sullivan. We're very pleased that Dr. Rodney Brady and Dr. F. Ann Milner, past presidents of the university, are with us today. Also with us are France Davis, Marlon Jensen, Scott Marquardt, and Teresa Tyre from the Utah State Board of Regents. In addition, Keith Buswell from the Utah State Board of Education and David Bueller, Commissioner for the Utah System of Higher Education, are joining us. We're also pleased to have as our special guests honorary degree recipients John M. Huntsman Jr., Sid W. Folger, Karen Lofgren, and Joe Sorensen, who is here on behalf of his mother, Beverly Taylor Sorensen. The recipients of the 2013 Brady Presidential Distinguished Professors Award, Hal Krimmel, Adam Johnston, and Shane Schwanteveld, are also in attendance. Past honorary degree recipients, faculty, staff, and student body officers are seated on the floor. I would especially like to acknowledge our faculty and staff who are retiring this year. We appreciate their dedication and service to the university, and we wish them well in their new endeavors. Let's give them a round of applause. Welcome, graduates. You arrive here today following years of hard work and determination. Today is a dream come true for you. Dreams are powerful. They motivate us, they inspire us, they help us to achieve what once seemed impossible. They help us turn wishes into reality. At some point, each of you formed the idea that you wanted to go to college and become a better trained, better educated person. For the last several years, you've pushed yourself, and you have been pushed by professors who have challenged you to examine the world from different perspectives. Your faculty have mentored you and enhanced your critical thinking skills. It's tempting to view today as a conclusion, an accomplishment, but commencement actually means a new start, a new beginning. As you receive your diploma, this piece of paper you have earned symbolically represents a passport or ticket. New dreams, new opportunities, and new challenges await. As each of you considers your future, be thoughtful about the decisions ahead. Put your knowledge and your new thinking skills to work as you set out to achieve dreams and new goals. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to learn more about the class of 2013. Graduates, this is the interactive part of the ceremony. Are you willing to help me out? All right. Listen carefully. Graduates, if you are the first in your family to graduate from college, please stand up now. That's amazing. Thank you. You may be seated. Now, please stand up if you worked part-time or full-time while attending the university. I think that's everyone. We're going to have you jumping up and down here. Now, please stand if you participated in a service learning project, had an internship, conducted undergraduate research, or completed any kind of capstone or senior project. Please stand up now. Thank you. Please be seated. Now, please stand if you have a job following graduation or if you're continuing in graduate or professional studies. Stand up. That's an amazingly positive testament to your abilities. Thank you, congratulations to each of you, and best wishes for your future success. Today, as we celebrate your accomplishment, I would like to recognize 3 faculty members who have made a big difference in the lives of our graduating class. They are the recipients of the Brady Presidential Distinguished Professor Award, which is made possible by a generous gift from Rod and Mitzi Brady. Rod served as president of Weber State College from 1978 to 1985. His leadership left an indelible impression on this institution. Following the wise admonition of his father, Kenneth Brady, who once said, "The story of one's life is interesting and important only so far as it affects the lives of others." President Brady worked tirelessly to raise the bar in the quality of undergraduate education offered at Weber State. He stressed the importance of attracting and retaining dedicated faculty and urged them to constantly pursue teaching excellence. In 1985, President Brady left Weber State to become President and Chief Executive Officer of Bonneville International Corporation. We would like to sincerely thank Rod and his wife Mitzi for their continuous support of Weber State University and their thoughtful contribution of this award to honor exceptional faculty. The Brady Presidential Distinguished Professor Award is given to faculty members who demonstrate outstanding achievement in teaching, scholarship, and community service. I'm pleased to announce that Hal Krimmel of English, Adam Johnston from Physics, and Shane Swanevelt from Business Administration are the Brady Presidential Distinguished Professors for 2013. A detailed list of their accomplishments is presented in your program. I'll just share a few highlights from each of their careers, along with accolades from students. Will you please come down and join me on the podium? Since joining the faculty in 2001, English professor Hal Krimmel has combined his love of literature with his love of nature. Breathtaking backdrops in Utah, Montana, and Colorado have served as outdoor classrooms where Hal encourages students to read and write while exploring Dinosaur National Monument or whitewater rafting on the Yampa River. The author of several books, Hal has taught in China and Germany and was a Fulbright Scholar to Austria in 2004. Closer to home, Dr. Krimmel has been a strong proponent of sustainability on campus and supported faculty-student collaborations as chair of the Environmental Issues Committee. Former student and recent graduate Tom Paskett writes, "Dr. Krimmel didn't just introduce me to my major. He encouraged my enthusiasm, he challenged my intellect, and he nurtured my self-confidence. I'm starting law school this fall, and although I know it will be difficult and challenging, I also know that I will succeed. Congratulations, Hal. Physics professor Adam Johnston is esteemed for his teaching excellence in public service and research. He has influenced numerous Weber State students to pursue careers in science and science teaching. For the past 6 years, Adam has also made science fun for thousands of children with his engaging Science in the Parks summer series. In addition to an extensive list of peer-reviewed publications, Adam is the co-founder of Science Education at the Crossroads, a national conference that advocates for reform in science teaching methodologies. He works closely with Utah educators to develop professional learning opportunities for teachers. Earlier this year, he was awarded the Medal of Science and Technology from Utah Governor Gary Herbert. Ryan Nixon, who graduated from Weber State in 2009, says, "Too often we think that science is telling. Great teaching involves providing experiences for students. It wasn't until Dr. Johnson's Foundations of Science class that I saw science taught the way I wanted to teach it. That class was life-changing. Dr. Johnston showed me how a classroom could be student-centered and inquiry-based. He allowed me to experience it instead of telling me about it." Congratulations, Adam. Business Administration Professor Shane Schwanevelt has been connecting Weber State University with the global business culture since arriving on campus in 1992. Shane was a Fulbright Scholar to Japan in 1999, where he worked with Japanese businesses on sustainability issues, years before American industries embraced the concept. He drew on his experience in Japan to create the Managing for Environmental Sustainability course here at Weber State. Shane helped establish our MBA program and has been instrumental in making supply chain management the flagship program in the John B. Goddard School of Business and Economics. Krista Curtis, a former student in Dr. Schwanevelt's supply chain management course on quality management, writes, "I love my job as an analyst at Hill Air Force Base. I use the things I learned in Dr. Schwanevelt's class every day. I used his process variation lessons multiple times, including in a report for a 3-star general. I won an award for the execution of that project, and I thought of Dr. Schwanevelt the entire time." Congratulations, Shane. As you can see, these professors demonstrate a strong commitment to their students and their academic disciplines. Please join me in recognizing the Brady Presidential Distinguished Professors for 2013, Hal Krimmel, Adam Johnston, and Shane Schwanevelt. You will now have the opportunity to hear from Fanya Lin, one of our outstanding graduates, who, as a representative of the 2013 class, will deliver the student address. Following Fanya's remarks, James Beardall, Alan Hall, Catherine Lindquist, and Scott Parson, members of the university's Board of Trustees, will present the 4 honorary degree recipients. We will then hear from John Huntsman Jr., followed by the Weber State University Wind Ensemble. Fanya Lin, an award-winning pianist, is graduating magna cum laude today with a Bachelor of Music in Keyboard Performance and a minor in Psychology. Fanya Lin began playing the piano when she was 4 years old in Taipei, Taiwan. In 2008, she came to Weber State to study piano with Professor Yu Jane Yung. Fanya quickly made a name for herself when, as a sophomore, she won the Music Teachers National Association competition, besting a field that included 2 graduate students. As part of her victory, Fanya won a Steinway piano, which she donated back to our music department. Fanya has continued to dazzle audiences. Earlier this spring, she made her debut at Carnegie Hall. After graduation, she plans to perform several concerts before beginning a master's degree program at Juilliard. Her dream is to become an international concert pianist and a music professor. Ladies and gentlemen, Fanya Lin.
Thank you. Thank you, President. It's a great pleasure and a great honor to be here. Van Gogh once said, "I dream of painting, and then I pen my dream." This applies to all of us. Graduation is not the end of a story. Rather, it is the beginning of a new chapter in our lives as we continue to chase our dreams. I began my first piano lesson at age 4. It has always been my dream to be a concert pianist. I was accepted to Juilliard when I applied for undergraduate studies, but I chose Weber State. I chose Weber State because of the individual care and the attention students receive from the professors. I remember my piano professor, Dr. Yujian Yang, giving me a piano lesson until midnight the day before my audition at Weber State in March 2008, which started our mentor-student relationship for the next 5 years. My first formal piano lesson after I came to Weber State took 6 hours. Can anyone imagine that? I was thinking in my mind, what have I signed myself up for? Dr. Yang not only taught me how to play the piano, but showed me how to listen to my own playing. Every sparkly sound, every ringing tone, and the matching of color and timing in between notes. Later on, I realized that listening is the most essential element of the highest level of artistry. Her example demonstrates how dedicated and devoted professors are here at Weber State. I also chose Weber State for its unique and collegial environment. I met some of the friendliest and the most compassionate people among the students, like Nick Monk. You will know Nick if you are a dance, or theater, or music major. Or even if you don't know him personally, I believe some of you have heard someone laughing contagiously in the Wildcat dining room while you were all the way studying in the Union Computer Lab. That's Nick. For him, life is full of joy, and we should live in the moment. We also have an amazingly caring and encouraging community here at Weber State. Carol Hurst, a great supporter of the music department, came for my audition and attended all the concerts I performed in Utah. And my sponsors, George and Mary Ho, who not only provide me the resources to complete my college studies, but also take care of me as a family member. They invited me to Thanksgiving dinners, we exchanged Christmas presents, and they flew all the way to New York for my concerts. It is a true privilege to be a part of this loving and welcoming community. And I hope that we will all give something back to our community, especially to those who helped and nurtured us. Since I have been here, I have won the first place in national and international competitions. I have performed with orchestras such as Grand Junction, Aurora, and Coeur d'Alene symphonies. And finally, I was invited to perform at Carnegie Hall this March, which made my college years at Weber State end on a high note. However, it was not easy along the way. Stephen King once said, when you find something at which you are good at which you are talented, you do it until your fingers bleed and until your eyes are ready to fall out of your head. And he was right. I practiced for 6 to 10 hours on top of schoolwork when I have competitions and performances coming up. I fell asleep in the practice room. I believe some of the music students have that experience as well. And then I wear bandages on my fingers. The loneliness, the frustration, the disappointment, the pressure, and the obstacles that I experienced were like the challenges that all of you encountered in your own journey for the past couple years. Yet, we have come so far. Throughout the journey, we have transformed. We have become more mature, more sophisticated, and more realistic. But we should always dare to dream and never lose sight of our ambition, even at the most depressing trial in life. Beethoven once said, "Music is a dream, one that I cannot hear." At the last period of his life as a musician, he went completely deaf. He would put his face on the floor just to listen to the vibration or just to feel the vibration as he composed. Nonetheless, he wrote the Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy, one of the greatest work and the most significant contribution in the music history during this difficult time. Graduating is like closing a door but opening another. As we look back, we take our precious experiences with us, emerge from the wisdom we gain, and learn from the mistake we made. We will have the courage to write the next chapter of our life. No one said the path to the bright future would be easy, but we have been given tools, and we are ready to take the next leap. Thank you, Weber State. You're worthy of our dreams, and congratulations, class of 2013.
I really hope that in 10 years, I'll be able to perform all over the world, be a well-established concert pianist.
My dream is to land a job in a big PR firm in San Francisco.
My dream would be having a job where I enjoy going to and really being able to make a difference. And I feel that technical sales has given me the skills to do that.
My dream is to work in humanitarian aid, move to Central America and administer a microcredit program.
When I graduated high school, I actually had a full ride to any university in the state that I wanted. I chose to go to Weber.
My dream was to make a lot of money, but had a soft spot in my heart for students with learning disabilities. That's really where I was needed, where I could see myself grow and where I could help students grow as well.
I married my wife. Her name's Camry West. Shout out to her. She was a cheerleader, and she said, just come to practice just one time. When I went into the gym, I saw what's called a rewind. What that is a guy takes a girl and he throws her and she does a backflip and he catches her in one hand. I saw that and I was like, whoa, and I was hooked. I'm going into physical therapy with rehabilitation and training of high caliber athletes. The Utah Jazz, we're gonna start a stunt team. It's kind of opened up a lot of opportunities to me. I met a lot of their trainers, Utah Jazz players. It's paved the way to my future.
In Vietnam, they always talk about the American dream. I asked my mom what we had when we moved here, and she literally said nothing. When I stop and think about it, I myself sort of lived the American dream. I feel like Weber prepared me to go into medical school and be a great student there. And hopefully I can learn how to change lives and help people while I'm in medical school.
Anyone who comes to Weber State can reach their dreams. I think that they prepare us well, and if we take part and we put effort into what they're giving us and what they're teaching us, we can do anything we want.
Before actually coming to Weber State, I didn't do a whole lot of community service. Going on alternative spring break through Weber State, I was able just to see how many more opportunities there actually are to help. And with Weber State, you can actually team up with all these different organizations, which is really cool.
My ultimate goal in this life, I'd like to be sitting at a desk with a tag on the front that says Principal Saxton. The special education program up here at Weber State University, they've had 100% placement so far of all their graduates. Fantastic professors to thank who have equipped us with the skills we need to be tomorrow's leaders and be tomorrow's teachers for the youth who need us.
I had the opportunity to go to Guatemala with their microcredit program. The women who were affected in just the little program that we were involved with, it was 48 women and children that were affected by that. And it really just opened my eyes to what a wonderful opportunity that is for women and how very little money can make such a big difference in their lives. I'm grateful to Weber State for providing that opportunity. It was a great experience. It was life-changing for me.
No matter what degree you get, you can make a difference with it.
Given the Hinckley Scholarship, I've been able to focus my studies. I've been able to decrease the amount of time I have to work and increase the amount of time I can put towards my classes and research. The biggest research project I've been involved with is a project on, they're called metal organic frameworks, these three-dimensional structures in chemistry, and we're researching their role in catalysis and if we could use that to split water and form hydrogen gas for energy.
I really love performing. I love playing piano. This year, I just found out that I got invited to perform at Carnegie Hall. So I think Weber State is worthy of my musical dream.
My family has always been there for me. I'm a first-generation college student, and so this has been a huge dream for them as well. But even just being there for me and supporting me through it all has made a huge difference in my life.
Really, when you're in the classroom, being a non-traditional student, even though I'm old enough to be a lot of these kids' moms, you aren't looked at as a mom figure, you're just looked at as a colleague, as a fellow student. So that to me has been really my favorite thing about Weber State.
We were able to actually travel to Atlanta, Georgia, and compete in the National Collegiate Sales Competition. It was very nerve-wracking, a very, very strong competition there, but just being able to see my professors and have them coach me and apply everything I learned in the classroom, the best experience I've had at Weber State University.
Learning is an ongoing process. You never quit learning.
I'm a Wildcat for life, and I bleed purple, and I'll always be a big fan of Weber State.
Be able to change the world for the better and to leave our mark as Wildcats wherever our careers might take us.
Now I can see where I wanna be, and I can't believe. Now I can see where I wanna be, and I can't believe.
We will now proceed with the awarding of the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities. This is the highest honor Weber State University confers upon an individual, and we are pleased to award such degrees today. President White, honored guests, distinguished faculty, it is the recommendation of the Board of Trustees and the faculty of Weber State University that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred on Sid W. Folger. Will Jeff Stevens, a member of the Board of Trustees, and Brad Mortensen, Vice President for University Advancement, please escort Mr. Folger to the podium and assist in the hooding. Fortunately for all of us, Sid W. Folger is a man who loves the creative process. He has exhibited his own creativity in two different realms and has pursued his dreams in both of those fields. The first was in the area of property development and construction industry, where Mr. Folger has become a nationally recognized leader and entrepreneur over the last 5 decades. After founding his own construction firm in the District of Columbia metropolitan area in 1960, Mr. Folger has played a significant role in the growth of the urban areas surrounding our nation's capital. His achievements have included the construction of the landmark Temple and Visitor Center for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Kensington, Maryland. And also, he has been instrumental in creating several public and private redevelopment initiatives, like the comprehensive renewal of the downtown area of Silver Springs, Maryland. The other path that Mr. Folger has taken has been in the arts. He has been especially fond of the performing arts and classical music. He studied piano as a youngster, and from that time on, listening and playing have become his passion. He and his late wife, Mary, have devoted much of their personal time, their efforts, and their material resources to endeavors in music education here in the United States and abroad. Several years ago, they founded the Folger International Music Festival at Keene University in Union, New Jersey. More recently, Mr. Folger has endowed the music program at Weber State University. He has created the Sid and Mary Folger School of Music in the College of Arts and Humanities. The activities of that school will include the Sid and Mary Folger International Music Festival, a summer program that will expose students to the best musicians and performers around the country, including the very excellent professors we have here at Weber State. Among his charitable efforts have included the construction of a school for special needs children in Russia and a transportation network in rural China. Mr. Folger is an alumnus of Weber State, where he played football in the early 1940s rather than the piano. It is an honor for me to welcome Sid Folger back here, back to the place where his impressive life of achievement began. For these and other numerous and personal and professional accomplishments, the Board of Trustees and President Charles A. White, on behalf of Weber State University, confer upon Sid W. Folger the degree of Doctor of Humanities.
President White, honored guests, distinguished faculty, it is the recommendation of the Board of Trustees and the faculty of Weber State University that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred on Karen Lofgren. Will Kevin Sullivan, a member of the Board of Trustees, and Jan Winifred, Vice President for Student Affairs, please escort Mrs. Lofgren to the podium and assist in the hooding. It's an honor to share this platform today with Karen Lofgren because in her 46-year career as a Utah educator, she wasn't just a teacher, she was an innovator. Dr. Lofgren made her first contribution to elementary education in the years from 1954 to 1979, when she fulfilled various roles in public education. During that period, Karen headed curricular development efforts for the Utah State Office of Education, helped to implement the first programs for gifted students in the Ogden School District, and fostered the Week of the Arts program in both Ogden and Weber Public Schools. After joining the Weber State faculty, Dr. Lofgren was among the first of those professors to enhance her students' classroom knowledge of elementary education by routinely taking them into public schools as a learning experience. We call that sort of real-world experience service learning. To Karen, it was just common sense. Dr. Lofgren was willing to introduce fantasy as well as reality into the learning experience for both children and adults. To do that, she organized and ran the early years of the award-winning Weber State University Storytelling Festival, which has continued to enthrall thousands of children of all ages here in northern Utah. Karen's professional and personal achievements have been previously honored by the Weber State University Alumni Association, the Weber State University Student Association, Ogden City, the National Storytelling Association, and numerous other organizations. We are here today to unequivocally add another equally well-deserved recognition of Dr. Lofgren's contribution to her profession, her community, her students, and to Weber State University.
President White, honored guests, distinguished faculty, it is the recommendation of the Board of Trustees and the faculty of Weber State University that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred on Beverly Taylor Sorensen. In her absence, her son Joe Sorensen will be accepting Beverly's honorary degree. Will Steve Starks, member of the Board of Trustees, please escort Mr. Sorensen to the podium. Beverly Taylor Sorensen is a woman who loves art, music, and dance so passionately that she convinced the Utah legislature to support her dreams for elementary education. Mrs. Sorensen is the co-founder and matriarch of the Sorensen Legacy Foundation, considered by many to be Utah's most active family-operated charity. The foundation provides funding for worthy nonprofit, religious, educational, and scientific endeavors. Through personal contributions and foundation grants, Mrs. Sorensen has become one of Utah's most generous and influential patrons of the arts. Her charitable giving inspired a redesign of Utah's elementary education curriculum that returned dance, theater, music, and visual arts instruction to selected Utah classrooms. The Artworks for Kids initiative, launched by Mrs. Sorensen, advocates a research-based, side-by-side approach to arts instruction, where classroom teachers work closely with art specialists to provide high-quality, integrated learning experiences. This innovative teaching model has been proven to yield enhanced learning and artistic development in children, as well as social and emotional growth. To demonstrate the worth of her arts education model, Mrs. Sorensen personally funded its introduction into selected elementary classrooms a decade ago and supported the training of talented teachers and art specialists in Utah's colleges and universities. The sheer size of those private contributions, more than $50 million from Mrs. Sorensen and her family foundation, obliged Utah lawmakers to pass the Beverly Taylor Sorensen Arts Learning Program in 2008. That legislative initiative committed millions in state funds to increasing quality arts education opportunities for all children in Utah. We are here today to recognize Mrs. Sorensen for her vision, her persistence, and her untiring dedication to the ideal of bringing the benefits of art to the children of Utah.
Good morning. President White, honored guests, distinguished faculty, it is the recommendation of the Board of Trustees and the faculty of Weber State University that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred on Governor John M. Huntsman, Jr. Will Karen Fairbanks, member of the Board of Trustees, and Norm Tarbox, Vice President for Administrative Services, please escort John Huntsman to the podium and assist in the hoodie. Our world-famous speaker has enjoyed many unique and special assignments throughout his distinguished life. Governor Huntsman is a remarkable statesman in the best possible interpretation of that word. As governor of Utah from 2005 to 2009, Mr. Huntsman made a sincere and largely successful effort to serve all the state's competing interests in an even-handed and fair manner. His balanced approach to governing not only resulted in national accolades for the state, but also unprecedented personal popularity ratings for him. His innate sense of altruism has also made Mr. Huntsman a particularly influential figure as he served as chairman of the Western Governors Association and as a member of the executive committee of the National Governors Association. Governor Huntsman has a distinguished record of similar bipartisanship at the national level, where he served as a White House aide, an international trade representative, and most notably, U.S. Ambassador to Singapore and China. That appointment was obviously not made because of Governor Huntsman's affiliation with the Republican Party, but in spite of it. More importantly, Governor Huntsman fulfilled that challenging duty as a representative of all Americans. I also note with pride that Mr. Huntsman was a highly praised Republican candidate for President of the United States. Mr. Huntsman is also committed to pursuing the greater good for all people in his role as chairman of the Huntsman Family Foundation that funds scientific research, patient care, and information dissemination through the world-famous Huntsman Cancer Institute. It is therefore my distinct honor to introduce to you a superb statesman, patriot, and humanitarian. Please give Governor Huntsman a very warm Weber State welcome. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our beloved Governor, Mr. Huntsman.
Alan, thank you for that largely undeserved introduction. What I want to do, I want a copy of that, and I want to send one to each one of my kids. I might get a little more respect at home after that. But members of the Board of Trustees and regents, some of whom I was lucky enough to appoint, distinguished faculty, in fact, graduates, If you love your faculty, will you stand up and give them a hand? Right on. Well deserved. Proud parents, and you, almost alumni, you know, your day has arrived. This is also President White's first commencement here, so we should try not to get him in too much trouble. And as a failed rock musician myself, I promise to be on best behavior. And I would be remiss if I didn't give a big shout out to my friend and outgoing president, Ann Milner, for her unbelievable work on behalf of this fine institution over so many years. Ann, we love you. We love you. You know, graduation is one of life's great milestones. I guess some others would be your birth, your death, and any time Weber State goes to the CIT championship. So forget about East Carolina. We all know who the real winners are, and that would be you here today. But today you're closing an incredibly important and expensive chapter in your life. And I know that life isn't a straight and narrow route, and so do you. Every one of you sitting here could tell a different story about how you arrived at today's commencement exercise. And for most of you, regardless of your age, you're just beginning a first and very important chapter in your life. So what do you want your book of life to look like? How do you want it to read? How many chapters are there going to be? Will it be fiction or will it be nonfiction? Heroic or romantic? Comedy or tragedy? Starting the minute that you wake up tomorrow, in many ways it's totally up to you with this new beginning. One thing I've learned is that your life will never be complete until you find your most deep-rooted passion. And you'll never find your passion until you learn to follow your heart. The one thing that drives you and inspires you and motivates you. Never take for granted your freedom to choose your own destiny. Don't make the mistake of comparing your destiny to anyone else's, because it's sure easy to look at someone else's Facebook wall and think that their life is somehow that much more put together. But everybody has different battles to fight and surroundings in which to cope. And you alone have the ability to be your best friend or your worst enemy. Embrace who you are and make yourself unique. Like you, I'm the product of our place in history. So first, some perspective, then some advice, which I offer in great humility, knowing that my own failures and shortcomings in life are probably not a whole lot different from yours. I'm just a little older, and as a public servant, they're a little bit more on public display. My earliest memories were Vietnam, civil rights, the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. It was a time of tumult, uncertainty, and great change. So much so that many wondered, with the assassination of beloved leaders, the overhang of imminent nuclear war, a failing economy, troops deployed in a foreign quagmire, and the resignation of a president, if our nation would ever survive. It has survived, like every generation since independence. You see, each wave of graduates like you has a set of circumstances that make it seem like the wheels are coming off a bus. Wars, depression, social revolutions. And in each case, we recover, we learn our lessons, and we become ever more resilient. Or as Alexis de Tocqueville said, the greatness of America lies not in being more enlightened, but rather in her ability to repair her faults. So the real test of a nation is not how well it does when times are good, but how well it does when times are tough, just like people. America's passions remain as strong as ever today. So graduates, hold on to that sense of optimism. Hold on to that belief in your future. Our free and open society that can respectfully embrace debate, coupled with a free market system that rewards risk and innovation, is still the envy of the world. Despite our dysfunction, we are still as full of potential as ever, and don't you let anyone tell you otherwise. Just remember this. When the oppressed are fighting autocratic regimes, they look to America for inspiration. When overseas entrepreneurs build companies, they still look to the United States practices as the gold standard. When young people around the world want to attend the best colleges and universities, where do they go? They travel here. When playwrights, filmmakers, and the creative classes from abroad dream, their imaginations are fueled by America's example. So the world you step into tomorrow, regardless of where on this globe you come from, your age or station in life, should bring you excitement, not fear. Anticipation, not anxiety. The prospect for breakthroughs in conquering human disease and extending human life, the advancement of new technologies, rebuilding the opportunity ladder in our local communities for the next generation, these are all challenges worth your effort. Our system needs new thinking. We need a fresh generation of innovators, leaders, risk takers, entrepreneurs, scientists, educators, and activists. That's you. And you're not just taking ownership and responsibility for your own pathway. It's all of us who will benefit. And as you proceed, regardless of your career choice, what you discover may surprise you. You see, life at all levels still requires the human touch, the displays of goodness, selflessness, tolerance, and compassion that make this world beautiful, if you're fortunate enough to find it. And I hope you do. And make no mistake about it, while technology will drive us to mind-bending destinations during your lifetimes, the world is still managed at all levels by human beings and human emotion, happiness, sadness, mercy, thankfulness, and forgiveness. All attributes of living human beings. But the traits of the most successful among us for the foreseeable future will require the most precious of all attributes: common sense and good judgment. So finally, I will display the truly bad judgment of dispensing a little bit of advice. Number one, be you. Find the genius that is uniquely your own and nurture it. It is your passion. Don't let anyone drown out your inner voice. Take that leap of faith and trust your instincts. Your uniqueness can change the world. Don't stand in front of the mirror and try to look like everybody else. Be you. That doesn't mean putting yourself first. It means being true to yourself. You see, life isn't a straight and narrow path that is the shortest line between 2 points. In fact, life is full of turns, hills, alleyways, sometimes cliffs, lots of speed bumps and potholes. But your passion will never be complete unless you learn to follow your heart. So quit asking others what they think you should be. Ask yourself and follow your heart, because it will never let you down. Graduating senior Fanya Aline has found her passion. We heard from her already. Congratulations, Fanya. That's outstanding. A concert pianist who recently performed in Carnegie Hall in New York will now move on to Juilliard for her master's degree. Unbelievable. Number two, find a cause. Find something to be passionate about, something to save, something to free. And when you have found that cause, don't hide behind a Twitter handle. Speak out. Take action, and never let it be said that you were an anonymous blogger, too timid to be counted, too weak to stand by your cause. 8 seniors from the computer science department completely improved the inventory control system at the Northern Utah Food Bank, helping 2,300 households. Ian, Anthony, Andrew, Michael, Eric, Stephen. You all know how important that service was to those in need, and I thank you for it. Number 3, embrace failure, even in a tough basketball game. Now, some of you probably haven't landed the job you wanted. Many of you have. I'm sure many have faced hardships. I have too. Failure only hurts if you can't turn it into a learning experience that makes you stronger and wiser. Sometimes that momentary setback, that failure, seems like the end of the world. My heart is broken more than once when friends, even my own kids, in moments of despair, have lost complete confidence in themselves and in their future. Please remember, when you encounter an obstacle in life, 4 of the most powerful words in the English language are, "This too shall pass." Number 4, find somebody to love. You see, it's life's most powerful emotion. I first saw my wife across the courtyard in high school. I tried to get her attention by running for class president. I won 1, I lost 2, didn't work out so well. But when we unexpectedly found ourselves working together at Marie Callender's pie shop, I had a little more luck. This dishwasher caught the eye of the salad girl, and I have a lot more loves now too. 7 kids, including 2 adopted daughters, 1 from India and 1 from China. We got to visit their orphanages and meet many of the women who cared for them after they were abandoned. We saw how love can transcend race, geography, religion, and class. Some people need friends. Others need hope. And you'll find some that just need love. So reach out your hand and give them your heart. 5th and finally, give back. As much as you're able to, work to keep America great. Serve her, if asked. I was by a president of a different political party. But in the end, while we might not all be of one party, we're all part of one nation. A nation that needs your generational gift of energy and confidence. Never forget how lucky you are to be sitting here in America today. Even with student loans and maybe a little uncertainty about your future, we live in the greatest, most freedom-loving place on earth. Embrace it. You might not succeed the first time, and you might fail a few times, but make sure the pathway you take to those wins and losses is your own. One of my favorite musicians is Ben Folds. I love this lyric. The song is a little dated, but I still hear it today a lot. It goes something like this. I don't get many things right the first time. In fact, I'm told that a lot. Now I know all the wrong turns, the stumbles and falls brought me here, and I know that I am the luckiest. Be you, find a cause, embrace failure, find someone to love, give back, and never forget to rock and roll. Congratulations, class of 2013.
Thank you, Dr. Root and the Weber State University Wind Ensemble, and thank you, Governor Huntsman, for your service to our state and our country, and for your inspiring words today. Thank you. We will now proceed with the presentation of candidates for graduation by Provost Michael Vaughn.
Will the candidates receiving associate degrees please stand and remain standing? Will the candidates receiving bachelor's degrees please stand and remain standing? And finally, will the candidates receiving master's degrees please stand? President White, as the Provost of Weber State University, it's my honor and pleasure to present these candidates who have completed all of the requirements for their certificates and degrees indicated in the program of the day and are deemed worthy of this distinction.
In the name of Weber State University, upon the recommendation of its faculty and by the authority of the Utah State Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate certificate and degree indicated in the program of today. As a symbol of your achievement, will all of the graduates please move the tassels from the right side of the caps to the left? Your graduation today is both a personal achievement to be celebrated and a gift from family, friends, faculty, staff, and others who supported you. Graduates, would you like to now applaud them for your support? Thank you. Aren't they great? Graduates, you may be seated. You will now hear from Mary Hall, President of the Weber State University Alumni Association.
As President of Weber State University's Alumni Association, I would like to invite all alumni present today to please stand. Graduates, today is your day, and on behalf of the Alumni Association, it is my pleasure to extend our warmest congratulations and welcome you into the ranks of alumni of this great institution. With some of the lowest student to faculty ratios in the nation, you have been privileged to work closely with outstanding professors. I still remember with fondness and gratitude those professors who taught me to think critically, to view the world with wonder, and to make a contribution to society. You too will feel your professor's influence as you pursue your life goals. Please take time to thank them and keep in touch. When I graduated from Weber as a 30-year-old non-traditional student, I was just excited to go to work, sharing the knowledge and passion I had acquired from my education. Keeping in touch with the campus community was not a priority for me, and many of you may have these same feelings. But once I did reconnect, I found so many incredible avenues for personal enrichment and opportunities to give back to the institution that had given so much to me. Joining the Alumni Association is a perfect way to stay engaged. A membership will keep you informed of all the great things happening on campus, provide opportunities for career networking and lifelong learning, and help support student scholarships. So I hope you will join us. Many challenges and opportunities lie ahead, but today, take time to savor the moment and celebrate this outstanding achievement. Again, congratulations.
Thank you, Mary. We appreciate everyone who planned, organized, and participated in the commencement ceremony today. If there are any in the audience who would like an additional program, they will be available at Portal 14, just up here to my left. You may pick them up after the conclusion of this commencement. For those who would like to view this entire ceremony, please refer to page 35 in your program for information on watching commencement on Weber State's YouTube channel or for instructions on how to obtain your personal DVD of this ceremony. Alumni, this means you students, as you leave here today, I encourage you to continue your connection with Weber State University. I hope it is a lifelong relationship where you return to learn, to foster relationships with faculty and colleagues, to support students who follow in your footsteps, and to engage in university activities. You will always be a part of Weber State University, a place that has played a role in changing your life. But most of all, don't ever forget that you bleed purple. Now would you please join the Weber State University Wind Ensemble conducted by Dr. Thomas Root and vocalist Trenton Fordham in singing our school song, Purple and White. For those of you who have not yet memorized Purple and White, the words and music are printed on the inside back cover of the program. The recessional by graduates will then conclude the 141st commencement exercises of Weber State University. The audience, platform guests, and faculty should remain standing during the recessional. Please rise for our school song, Purple and White.
Thank you.